Have you ever wanted to discover what's missing in your life? Metaphysics is available to all and is part of your life even if you don't know it. Welcome to Metaphysics, a view through the veil with Barb Crowley. Together we'll explore the mysteries behind metaphysics and how to use it to have a deeper understanding and advantage in life. And now here's your host, Barb Crowley.
Hi, this is Barb Crowley, and welcome to Metaphysics, a View Through the Veil. Today we're talking to Chris Berryman, and Chris is an extra-dimensional experiencer and author of the N1 Sessions and Flying Saucer Visions, a travelogue. I like that, a travelogue. He's also the founder of Detroit Theater Collective, a multimedia performance ensemble, and a writer of screenplays. He lives, although we were just talking about he's been New York, LA, and now he lives in Michigan. Chris, welcome to the show. I'm so glad to have you here.
Hey, Barb. Thanks for having me on your groundbreaking show.
Yeah, thank you. Tell me, how did you go from theater to extra dimension?
Right. Sure. Well, it was actually during the first part of the pandemic, and I live alone, and I found myself that I was, by myself a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say maybe a year before, several months before the pandemic officially started, I noticed these visions that I would have when I closed my eyes. And some of it was geometric shapes, strange geometric shapes. Some of it was objects, machinery that I had never seen before.
Right.
And I even talked to a teacher. I was, taking an energy healing course, and I talked to a teacher about it, and she told me that she had something similar too. Just keep being aware of these visions
Right.
that you're having. And so
I have to ask, mushrooms weren't involved?
They were not. No, no.
Because when I hear
totally
geometric, sober. Yeah.
Totally sober.
Yeah.
No weed, no mushrooms.
Right.
No,
nothing.
When I was having these visions, no.
Yeah.
So they started to ramp up after the first COVID lockdown happened. And when I'd close my eyes at night, it would become it started to scare me a little bit.
I would think, yeah.
Yeah.
Am I losing it? Is it brain tumor?
Oh my God. Am I losing it? Is it ghosts? What is it? Brain tumor,
I would have gone down every rabbit hole. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think I did. But then I started seeing eyes and then eventually beings and other things, light, portals, many other things. And finally, I went back to that teacher who I talked to before, and she told me, okay, just ask them if this is a presence of something, confront them, just ask them what they want.
Yeah.
So I did. And that's when I was introduced to N1 and this collective of beings. And during that time when I first started seeing the eyes and everything, I realized that a small minority of them were reptilian eyes or slit eyes. And I think I screamed out loud when I realized that.
Yeah.
Because there's this reputation about reptiles and all sorts of covert mind control and things like that.
Yeah.
And but once I got to know this group a little bit, that I was able to relax. And the conversation continued. Those initial visions, eventually I had an experience where I was laying on the bed the whole time. The lamp beside the bed was on. But it's like my energy, my consciousness was lifted up. And all of a sudden I had visions of a control panel, like inside of a flying saucer or something.
Do you believe you were taken on board?
I do. I think my astral body maybe, my energy was taken on board, but it didn't feel to me like abduction, though some people might view it that way. It felt like sort of like a hand reaching out. and just doing it. I remember saying, okay, here we go. Let's just
Yeah.
stay calm and everything. And it was like I was getting 4 Reiki sessions at once. It was
Wow.
like this energy. I could feel it in my heart.
Right. Did
And
you
so
have choice? Did you have
I
choice at that point? Or
I
did
think I
you
did, because
go along so
I
that you
went
don't
along
even
with it.
know? Yeah.
I could have broken away and
You
gotten
could
up,
have.
I think, and
Yeah.
ran away, gone into another room.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt that I went voluntarily.
Yeah.
It was a positive experience.
Mm-hmm.
So those initial experiences, and there were more, but those were the foundations of my first book, Flying Saucer Visions, which is an illustrated sci-fi story for ages 10 and up. It's aimed at. And then the continued conversation, I started, with some of the training I had to expand it real quick to sort of hold the vibration of the frequency.
Hold
Of
your space kind of thing.
being, hold my space so these beings could speak through me
Mm-hmm.
and write through me. That continued conversation that went on for a year and more.
Right.
That was the foundation for that is the N1 sessions.
Mm-hmm.
With the
So,
book that came out.
and you say N1 and the collective.
Yeah.
Were
N1
they
is kind of the
different?
leader.
Yeah. Were they different? The collective, were they different, or were they all from the same group or the same place, or were they different?
From my perspective and what they're telling me, they're from all over the universe, but particularly Sirius and Orion.
Right.
Yeah.
And N1 is Orion.
Is Orion with roots, sort of like you being from New Jersey,
and now being in Denver. Yeah.
Roots in Sirius, and then moving into the Orion area. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole background is covered in the N1 sessions.
Right.
Yeah.
But tell me about it. That whole background. Yeah. I mean, he told you, and I'm saying because I don't have a word. Right.
Yeah, it's what he told me was that his parents' souls, his parents, I guess, like we'd say, were sort of radicals within the culture in which the place that he was from, and they started some sort of colony near Orion, and so that he got to know some of the beings,
like a commune.
Kind of.
Yeah.
That's
interesting.
Like. Yeah. And I got, he studied and learned a lot of things, and eventually this group asked him to come aboard and be part of this thing that became what I call the Orion contingent. And they're sort of like explorers, sort of like space archaeologists, and they have a monk-like energy, like a very reverent, very peaceful energy. That's what it feels
calming.
to me. Yeah.
Now, why you? Why did they come to you?
That is a good question. I have a feeling that it has to do that I was available. That I didn't have
not
children.
Special. I was just there.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it, but I think maybe I have some connection. I signed up for
you
something
never
somewhere.
asked, and he never said, huh?
I haven't asked that yet. No, I've speculated in my mind. But I think I might, dive into that someday. But it's there's been so many other things to talk about that I haven't needed to. So because of certain events in Earth history, and that had to do with different groups of extraterrestrials intermingling with us, which is the indigenous species of the planet.
But we were already here.
We were here. Well, there is a possibility, and the N1 sessions only talks about this very briefly. There's other people, other channelers who go into this in much more depth, and there's different perspectives.
Right.
That there's a good chance that they actually created us or sort of put us here. There might have been, sort of created us from different species. We're put together, and the human race then
To
happened.
populate Earth?
Yeah.
Is there any chance we are their AI? And when bad, bacteria took over, I think maybe because we're getting more and more stupid, it seems like. We seem to, in history, to be smarter. I mean, we can make pyramids, yeah. Makes me wonder if we're another species AI and bacteria got into the machine and just took over, and they just figured, failed experiment, and we're out of here.
It could be that, that might be the problem, and maybe they're figuring out. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. I had a little technical glitch there. But the quarantine happened, I'd say, because there's different groups of ETs that had interacted with the indigenous Earth species, and these different groups of ETs had different motives and different reasons for interacting with us, and some of them were positive, and some of them might have been more controlling. Because of the controlling, more malevolent groups, a quarantine was put on, so that for our protection.
That's what I was wondering. What kind of quarantine? It was a protection.
Yeah. That's what it feels like. Yeah.
Yeah. I've always felt, when I look at ETs, I figured we had to be protected because they could vaporize us in a heartbeat. There had to be some kind of you can't go there and you can't mess with humans, for the bigger power saying to the rest of the universe, you can't do this. The other thing I think about is Sasquatch or ET sightings or, spaceship sighting, they always seem to be temporary. They can't stay here. They seem to come here but have to leave.
Well, yes, they don't want to stay here. I don't think I think they might have some secret hideouts, a few of them, in more remote areas, maybe underground or something. But I don't think that they want to stay here because this is sort of a stressful, volatile place, right now at least.
Yeah. But in the past, when people have reported seeing, extraterrestrial spacecrafts, they're only here for a certain amount of time, and it seems like everything stops. There's no sound. It's truly, to me, an interdimensional thing going on. They've come through a portal, but they're not here long. They're never here for any length of time.
Like you said, that might have something to do with the quarantine as well.
Yeah.
There's the interaction has to be positive and productive, and unless you go rogue.
There are a few rogue out there, I think. Yeah. Anybody who's read Skywalker Ranch, it's like, oh my God. Have you read that?
I have not read that.
Oh,
Skywalker Ranch.
Yeah. I think that's the name of it, Skywalker Ranch. Yeah. And it's a ranch where there are just a lot of portals there. And you can actually see. Okay, so
I've heard of that. Yeah.
I mean, it is terrifying. And some of what comes through is terrifying. And then you've got the cattle that are being bled dry. Things like this where they'll come to a carcass of a cow and all the blood is gone. I mean, there's some freaky stuff.
Yes, and that has been, that phenomenon has been documented
a lot, everywhere too.
And, and other things too. I would say that's the work of what they call the malevolent forces. Yeah.
Right. So I'm a little worried about the quarantine being lifted.
Right. That is, but again, I think there's still rules. by the big
big guy.
leaders out there. There's still,
Yeah.
even if the quarantine is
Yeah.
lifted, that's not something that we need to be afraid of.
Oh, good. Thank God. Yeah. So, what is their plan?
What is their plan? Well, this group that spoke to me in the N1 sessions, the plan is to get to a place where we can communicate with each other, where we can collaborate freely in step by step in a process that will allow this planet to realize its original purpose. I'm told by these beings is that Earth is a place for experimentation and collaboration and growth to happen for many different star races, including us. And so getting back to the garden, so to speak.
Right.
So that's sort of what
and that's the commitment to life they talked about.
Yes.
Right.
In that we also, a big thing that and a lot of people are waking up to this, I think, but just to realize that after we die, we probably have to come back here.
We have to?
Yeah, well, if we want to.
A lot of people aren't happy
go?
about that.
Yeah.
Well, so can we not go to other dimensions when we
I think
die?
you can. Yeah, I think you can. But this is a place. This is a hot spot. This is a place
really?
coming into this physical realm. There's a lot of I think there's a lot of growth that can happen quickly.
Well, I think so too, because of the pain elements.
Well, yeah, and maybe overcome it, learning how to overcome that, maybe.
Right, or live in it. Yeah.
That
I mean, that alone, yeah.
I know now, I'm 53 now, and I know now that, like a lot of the pain that I experienced when I was in my 20s, whatever, was just that I didn't have the tools. I didn't have a bigger understanding of how things work, of my place and things, of my worth, really, too. So I suppose those lessons are a big part of life on Earth.
Right. And growing up and becoming, I mean, you care so much in your 20s, and by your 70s, you don't care at all.
Right.
And which frees you up.
Letting go of the care. Maybe that's
right. Don't care at all. What's a masquerade?
The masquerade, this is I gotta talk carefully here. It refers to certain dynamics of the pandemic. Now they clarify that yes, the virus is real. The virus is real. It's not fake. It's not. But the way that people were, even if it was the whole argument about vaxxer, anti-vaxxer, how people were pitted against each other.
Right.
That it was this strange, that it was a strange orchestrated game that was going on, and it's still going on.
Yeah, it is.
Because when people argue, whether it's this, the volatility you see on social media and on the political debate that's going on, and especially in this country, it's kind of scary right now with everything that's happening.
It's very scary.
Yeah.
It's cartoonish almost.
Yeah.
So
when
wild.
We're fighting with each other like that, when there's this constant emotional, very, very heated emotional debate, there are beings that can feed off of that.
Yeah.
And so
are we attracting those beings?
Yeah. And that there's a reason why it continues in certain cycles, I guess you'd say.
What's the reason?
So that it continues, so it ramps up, and so that these beings can.
Are we never going to grow past this?
This is part of what I've been revealed.
Yeah.
Revealed to me through this whole process is that it's not, when we don't see each other as human beings, it goes, consciousness drops to a really base, low level.
Right.
And there are entities that want that to happen.
Are they manipulating?
Be aware.
Are they manipulating it, or this
Yes.
this is just who we are?
I would say yes.
They're
I would
manipulating.
say yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Do we have no protection out there, or?
Well, we don't. There's people. There are there are uh, civilizations of light that are trying to tell us wake up.
Right.
But we're at a place now where we can shut this down.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the really exciting part.
Yeah. We can shut down the negativity.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
And this game of just volatile, needless
Right.
acts that lead to war,
Uh-huh.
that lead to
Control, to greed. Yeah.
school shootings,
Right.
acts of violence in public. Yeah, that we
Right.
don't need to live in this.
Mm-hmm. So if the negative energies can do that now, why don't they do it all the time?
They have in different ways.
Yeah.
It's just different now because there's all these toys. There's the digital culture, the technology. I think that's a huge avenue.
Yeah.
So we have to be careful.
Where was N1 then? When this all started going bad on us?
How far back?
Well, we were 50 years ago.
Oh yeah.
We were doing really well. I think it was a high point. We were trying to be inclusive. We were trying to bring everybody into a wonderful society.
Right.
Equally.
I think that these beings have been watching us for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And intervening when they can.
Yeah.
And now, just because of there's this buzz going on right now on the planet of all sorts of people experiencing different things, people waking up to their psychic ability,
right?
And being able to talk about it openly without some kind of religious backlash and everything. To to travel into the universe just with our astral bodies and come back.
The veil has certainly gotten thinner.
Yeah, like you said, yes, the veil becoming thinner, there's much more opportunity to just reach out and communicate.
Mm-hmm. But can we communicate, like N1 came to you? Mm-hmm. Can anybody go to N1?
Yes.
How do you get them?
They will hear, and they will hear, maybe with the proper tools, which doesn't take long to learn.
Mm-hmm. Give me an overview of those tools.
Sure. First of all, intention. Mm-hmm. I think intention is the important thing, the most important thing. And then just being able to be grounded, to keep grounded, to stop our thoughts, through meditation and other practices, and raise our vibration a little bit, through many different practices, sound healing, drumming. Mm-hmm. There's just so much available right now. It's wonderful. And then we can actually travel into the universe with our, astral projection, I guess is one way to describe it. Right. And there in the N1 sessions, there are 10 exercises that document some of these things that we're talking about too.
And you have them in your book.
They're in the book.
Somebody, can follow those exercises.
Yeah.
What are the hidden particles?
The hidden particles is something that the Orion contingent, I'm told, in the N1 sessions, the hidden particles are something that they have been, and they're interested in coming here and working in more depth, something that they want to come into a physical reality and harness. Mm-hmm. So they're asking for permission. Can we come in and through their technology, harness they're light particles. They're not totally physical. They exist, I'm told, at the boundary of the physical and the spirit in the higher dimension, the spiritual dimension. Yeah,
it's like
near
rare
power spots, near places like Stonehenge or the pyramids, or places in the
Right.
United States as well, in the
But
Southwest.
like Boulder, Sedona, that kind of thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a power spot as well. Yes.
So this is like rare earth is, a part of making something else, something
Yes,
that's
yes.
needed.
They are.
Yeah.
I'm told that they have many experiments that they say that it will help them and it will help us.
Hmm.
So that's what they ask for permission to come
So
into
it's
our.
not like a rare earth. They mine it, they
It's
refine
what
it, and then we use it in a product.
well this what they're talking about in these hidden particles is something that isn't completely physical.
Hmm.
Where minerals are more solid. This is
Right.
another treasure that
Mm.
exists that we might not know about yet.
Right. Now, if
Mhm.
they take them, are we then without, or do
No,
they
it's a renewable.
regenerate?
Yeah, they regenerate. It's a
Oh,
renewable.
okay, good. Because
Yeah,
it's like, well, we don't know if we want to give
yeah,
them to them. We don't know what they are.
that would be rude, right?
Yeah, I would think. Yeah. Will they teach us how to use them? Is N1 here to teach or to help in any way, or just say, hey, can we mine this
I think they
resource?
definitely would be willing to
Hmm.
do that. There's a little bit more information in the N1 sessions about the possibilities of this a substance like this.
Right.
And yes, that they are willing to, other ET groups too are willing to share a lot of information with us if we
Hmm.
let them, once this contact begins. And I have a feeling that contact is going to be start more in the with lucid dreams, in not necessarily in the physical first,
Right.
not necessarily face to face.
So they're going to talk basically to our astral body first.
I think there's going to be more and more of that before the physical face to face stuff happens.
Hmm. Because we can't have it, or because their energy would blow us up, or
Maybe it might be dangerous for both parties, and how will the world react?
right.
The greater world react. That's the other question. There are other channels. There are other investigators who are speculating it's going to happen way sooner than
Right.
what I'm saying here. But some people are talking about 2027 a lot.
Uh-huh.
But we'll see. Maybe it'll happen in spurts or in separate events. I don't know
Right.
yet. Yeah.
We talked a little bit about the this spacecraft that I don't know what else to call it, spacecraft. That scientists are watching. They don't know what it is, but they say it's making movements that are engineered. They're not random. And it went behind the sun and they didn't know what it was doing then. And now it's come out from behind the sun. But they're saying this is a manipulated thing. It's not random. These movements are not random. And now I just read that it put out like 7 tails, I'll call it. And they have no idea what that is. And they're just sitting back watching this. And every now and then a headline will pop up, but there's not a bigger conversation going on. What is this?
Right. I am not sure. I think it might be a meteor or something like that. But I think that perhaps it's something that's being manipulated by
Hmm.
high intelligences at the same time.
Right.
I haven't investigated myself that phenomenon myself, but it's going to be interesting. Even whatever it is, how
Yeah.
as it comes closer, that how what it's going to reveal about scientifically, or
Right.
also about different
Or is it
situations.
another country with the technology to manipulate something, to
There's an idea. Yeah.
maneuver it? Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Is N1 are the other dimensions a little worried we're going to blow ourselves up before they get hold of this resource?
I think that there is a bit of concern about that,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
think that the feeling in the N1 sessions is more just take a breath,
Hmm.
guys, breathe. Oh, there's
Right.
plenty of time. There's time, brother. We can work this out.
But will humans hear that? Because
That is the
one
big
crazy
question.
guy with the numbers, and we're done.
Yeah,
And there are a couple
yeah.
crazy guys running around with access.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
And I think that's one of the reasons why there has been such an increase in people receiving messages,
right.
having experiences, and sort of, and also the increase in the sightings in the skies of
Hmm.
different sort of vehicles or
Right.
phenomena in the skies too. So
And
I think
coming out of
that's
the ocean, there are people talking about
right,
that too. Yeah,
right. Yes,
which
yes,
is really amazing to death. So,
yeah.
you talk about the other 73%. What's that about?
The other 73% is the so there's 27% that is actually they're military. They
Mhm.
might be military experiments.
Right.
This is what, in the N1 sessions, this is what the source says. And then the other 73% of sightings that aren't obviously nothing, that are sightings of UFOs,
Uh-huh.
unidentified phenomena, um, that they are from other worlds,
Right.
that they
You
have
know MUFON?
material.
Do you know MUFON? They're mutual UFO
Oh, yeah,
researchers.
yep, I've
Yeah,
heard of that
yeah.
organization. Yeah.
Yeah, and if somebody has a ET, well, actually any kind of alternative experience, their researchers are FBI trained. I mean, they're well-trained researchers, and they'll go in and research it. They also have people to go in and help you, because this thing just blew your mind. So,
Oh,
kind of calm you down, help you through this.
what a
They
great resource. Yeah.
yeah, they've said that in their investigations, 95% are nothing, or like the weather balloon, but
Right.
5% are other,
So
you
that
know,
that that 73/20, that percentage comes out of that 5%.
out of the
Stuff that isn't
5%. Yeah,
obviously nothing
yeah,
of
yeah,
real sightings. So
right.
70, what the source is saying in the N1 sessions is that 73% are
They're
extraterrestrial,
real.
extra-dimensional,
Yeah.
because some of them might not be totally 100% physical. They
Hmm.
could be holographic
Oh, okay. Yeah.
as well.
And
Yeah.
there are quite a few dimensions sending through these these well, I don't know what to call them because they're everything from ships to really werewolves in a way, or Sasquatch, to
Mhm.
people are saying that these are all interdimensional beings.
Right, right.
Does
That
anyone
those
believe that or say that
That's
too?
an interesting. He hasn't talked about those. What do they call them? Cryptoterrestrials.
I don't
That
know, I don't
they're
know that name.
like the Yeti and the
Oh
werewolf,
yeah,
that
yeah,
these other beings that
that
they've been
come
here a long
through, yeah.
time, but they maybe originally had extra dimensional or
Right.
otherworldly origin, and they were brought here maybe as some. I think they're
Some people
probably.
say they can watch him come through the portals.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So they have abilities like that, and they have
right. And
resources
then,
like that. I think there's probably something to that.
right. And how about the black holes?
No, I don't know about this.
You know how well the scientists talk about in the
Oh,
universe are black holes. I kind of think of them
black
as
holes. Okay,
portals.
black
Yeah,
holes. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Are they portals, or did they just never bring them up?
They haven't brought black holes up so much, but they do talk about portals a lot.
Hmm.
Different types of portals. Black holes. Yeah, I am not believe it or not. All with all the sort of high tech scientific stuff that goes along with this material, and maybe you can tell why they chose me for this. I don't have the most scientific mind
Right.
in the world.
You happen to
Maybe it's
be
because
sitting
I'm
on
willing
that
to
bench.
accept,
Huh?
yeah, willing to accept things that might sound like magic, to our ears right now. But
Right.
it's actually does have a scientific basis. We just don't we're not on that inner dimension. We don't have understand certain things that happen in other dimensions.
This is why I think we need to be protected because
Right.
they are so far in advance, it seems
Yeah.
like. You know,
Yeah.
do you know the Phoenix lights, the Phoenix phenomenon, what it was in 1997? 10,000 people saw this. 10,000 people in Phoenix saw.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Now they
So
came in.
that's like a group of event,
Right.
like, isn't that amazing?
It was like they wanted to be seen and they came in almost like a parade,
Yeah,
but huge numbers
yeah.
and let 10,000 people see, and then they went away.
Yeah, that seems to be a pattern, like, we're here, bye, like,
Yeah. Now, why is that though?
I think that is now, this is sort of like, I think that's probably the way they're working now to take things in baby steps, and maybe the steps will speed up in the
Mhm.
coming years here, but that makes complete sense to me, that's what those wherever those lights were,
Right.
that's how they did it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's 10,000 people watched this. And then our government came out and tried to say it was weather balloon. It
Yeah,
was
I know.
like,
Come on, come
and then they tried to repeat it, and it was a
on.
dismal failure, that
One
that
thing,
they could stop and then take off quickly,
yeah,
and it was
yeah.
dismal failure.
One thing that N1 says about that 27% of the government, of the military, those things,
Yeah.
he calls them the Keystone Cops,
Yeah.
because the reason why they can't do more than 27%, he says that we might have quite the Keystone Cop show
Yeah,
if they
yeah.
tried,
Oh
so
my
that's
God, yeah.
yeah, and there's a
Because they
lot of
do come out with things
yeah,
that
and there's a
like,
lot. I
come
do think
on.
there's a lot of lying, or
Yeah.
not presenting the 100% truth.
But why?
To
Because there
people.
are other countries that will say there was just a sighting and we don't know what it is. But
Yeah,
they will investigate it and it's an ET sighting, but they don't hide it. So
yeah.
why are we so afraid? We
I
the
guess,
United
what does the
States is, yeah,
American government have to hide? That comes
exactly.
to my mind.
And they didn't hide it in the 50s. They didn't start hiding it well into the 60s. And then
Right.
they went underground with this. And
I
they
agree.
went
I
into
think that's true.
denial.
Yeah.
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 I think there has been what they call, cover up.
Right. Right. But why?
Yeah.
I mean, what's
I
wrong
think we'll
with
find out. I
right.
think in the coming, like, soon, like the next 10 years, I think we're going to know more about
Mhm.
why things have
Right.
been covered up, um why people have disappeared, why
Right.
certain things just went unexplained for so long.
hmm the drones on the East Coast, you read about them, right? All of
Hmm.
a sudden there are
Yeah,
all these drones over
yeah,
Jersey and then Virginia and sometimes nuclear places,
yeah,
this
yeah.
stuff. Um, the US government came out with that and said, "We don't know what this is." You know? I mean, they
Well,
straight
do
out
you
said,
think
"We
that, I don't
don't."
know, do you think that's another country, or?
Yeah, I kind of do, but I
Yeah,
don't know. I
right.
don't know. But I think Biden was asked straight out, is this, ETs from another planet? He said, I don't know. But I can
Well,
find
and
it
that makes me think
impossible to
about
believe.
who does that, what part of the government actually knows something.
They have to know. And then,
Yeah, I
I
guess it's
read,
the
well, we
Pentagon.
can't.
I think it's the Pentagon. Certain
Right. It'd
certain
be the Pentagon. Yeah.
departments, top
Yeah.
secret departments in the
But,
Pentagon.
I mean, you're not telling the president or, for a president to stand there and say, I don't know what this is. That
Yeah,
takes a lot of courage, to
yeah, yeah,
say, I
and it
don't
seemed
know.
authentic
Yeah.
on a level. Yeah,
Yeah. So, either they're not telling him, very possible,
right. I think
but,
that's what it is. Yeah,
and then I read a thing saying, well, we can't shoot down anything that low because they were low. But, I talked to military people and they say, yeah, we have no trouble shooting that down, you know. So why
right.
didn't they? It was just such an odd thing and there's never been an explanation of it. You'll
Yeah,
have to
that
ask
is.
N1 about this. What was
These
that?
are great. These are all questions I'll have to
Right. I know you're
put
going to have
forth.
another book follow up.
Yeah, in the follow up. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That'd be great.
N1 talks about cooperation and the need for cooperation and really a heart-centered society.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
to welcome them in a way, it seems like, right?
Right. And I think that's going to be, that's not something that can be forced,
Mm-hmm.
cooperation. So I think these beings are asking for cooperation,
Oh, from us,
inviting us to
yeah.
cooperate with each other first
Yeah.
and to find this harmony, to sort of put down this, sword and shield that we've had for a long time, as far as um, just cultures and religions being pitted against each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like this interlocked problem on our
And
planet.
they have hope that we can do this.
I think that you're right. That's the thing. But I think that what
Now
we,
my idea of them just diminished.
I, I think if we're gonna do it, there's bigger tools that we need,
Hmm.
and so that's one of the things they're trying to provide.
Okay.
Tools, bigger consciousness tools.
So they're going to help.
Yes, and I think they have been helping. I think if you look at all the material, back to even before, but well, I think a big start was Jane Roberts and the Seth material, just sort of the
Hmm.
awareness that came
Right.
out of that, and then through the decades with A Course in Miracles and
Right.
many other.
But they feel like drops in an ocean. You know, they really do.
It
And
feels like
when,
it
yeah.
can feel that way, but it doesn't. One little shift in consciousness can be amazing. I
Mhm.
think.
But
Yeah.
looking at our world right now, they may be
Oh.
losing.
Well, that is a legitimate question. Are we too late?
Yeah.
That is something I can't say. I'm not going to sit here and play Pollyanna and say no. It's going. It's. I don't know that, and I don't pick up that they know that, but they're
Mm,
going to try,
right.
and
Right.
why they reached out to me, I believe.
And with the quarantine off, does that mean they can come in more?
Yes,
Is the
I would
quarantine
say so.
completely off now, or is it?
I don't think it's 100% yet. I think it's going to be a step-by-step release
Hmm.
of this quarantine, is what it feels like.
Right.
But it's in the process of being released, is what I'm told in the N1 sessions. That
Right.
yes, we are in the process of the quarantine being released.
And that means that they come in more and they want to mine this resource. Yeah. Which,
Yes, and I think I think they can do this already without being detected, but they want it. They want to be transparent
yeah, they want the
about
integrity of
that.
it, of being
Yes.
visible and saying, "Can we buy this from you?" or whatever,
Yeah. Well,
rather than
that's
take
another
it.
thing. They don't. I don't think ETs view this planet as. I think they view it as partially theirs because they've been coming here for so long.
Yeah.
So
Well,
even though
you
they're
know.
respectful to us.
Well, they can take. I mean,
Oh
they're
yeah.
they're so high. Well, just the fact that you can have a spaceship come in and hover with no sound and stop all sound. So they're changing the vibration and
Yeah.
then take off in a shot. They were so far ahead of our technology that they can do anything they want.
They certainly have a lot of abilities
Hmm.
that will let them do what you're describing. Yes.
Right. Is
Yeah.
anybody in charge of this planet?
Um, Ultimately, I'd say only source
Hmm.
or spirit, whatever you want to call that, is.
Right.
There
Just-
might be people who think they are, or
Yeah.
there might
Yeah.
be entities who think they are,
Hmm.
but that is not true.
Right.
Yeah.
They say the body itself is a portal.
Yes, and that's an interesting thing in with the exercises in the N1 sessions and all this
Mhm.
awareness that is in many of the chapters. This idea of the body as a stargate.
Right.
That the human energy body. This is one of the keys to our awakening, to our
Hmm.
ability to travel in consciousness, to heal, to connect with other souls, to our ESP,
Mm-hmm.
the flowering of our psychic abilities, which is actually very, very like what you do in your life. Very
Right.
important tools moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Very vital tools that have been sort of squelched down.
Right. In a way, they're squelched down because people don't have time. I mean,
right.
Yeah,
right.
everybody had to work full time, if not double time.
Yeah.
And I read an article or somebody, I might have had them on the show, I never know, where they talked about with AI coming in, the need to work all day, is going to be taken away, which is going to allow people to spend more time in their own, and I'll call it spirituality, for lack of a better word, or
what will we
abilities,
be able
or
to, if and that sounds like it's inevitable, what you
right,
know about
right.
AI, what you said.
Yeah.
What will we be able to create when we're not having to work?
When we're not so busy. Yeah.
We're not so busy, not so
Yeah.
mentally exhausted and physically exhausted.
Right. If
Yeah,
we don't blow ourselves up in the meantime.
exactly.
And that's what I'm looking for from these guys from N1. I want to know that they're going to step in and save us.
I have a feeling that because they do respect our free will as well. I know that that's part of it, but I think that there's with all the good guys out there in the universe.
Right.
I think they would only step in like forcefully,
right,
if we're gonna blow up the planet, because the planet is very precious commodity.
Oh, good.
Maybe they'll protect. I think they are protecting us on many levels.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, actually, the ETs, the other thing with spacecraft, ET spacecraft, there's been nuclear sites, that in the United States and around the world where all of a sudden all of their equipment goes offline. And it'll be offline for a while at the same time they're having sightings of ET. And then the ET will be gone, and then all of the nuclear equipment will come back online. I thought it was don't shoot at us. We can shut you down. Don't even bother to
Isn't that
shoot
cool
at us.
though? On a level,
Amazing.
I think they're letting themselves. They're allowing themselves to their presence to be known. That's what it feels like. To me.
Right. And then for some reason they want to come in and they don't want, somebody shooting off a nuclear missile at them, thinking that they're going to get them. Yeah,
right.
I know.
Right.
Because we do tend to be very stupid. Let's shoot them, and like they don't move quick enough to get out of the way.
Yeah,
I think they've done that. Yeah,
that's the kind of stuff I wonder about. When this possibility of contact happens,
right?
About how will certain groups like military, how will they react?
They actually have already tried to shoot some of these things they've seen, these spaceships, and the spaceship will just quickly move out of the way of the missile.
Or disappear.
It's like, it's like, what are you doing? But we have nothing else. It's like, well, I got a slingshot. This is all I got.
Do something. You hit that on the head. Yeah.
Right. And then there's also the question, there are a lot of people out there that believe that these are ours, that there's military that is so deeply embedded and protected that we don't know about this.
And I'd say some of it is, but a lot of it isn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, when you see when you see Russians roll out 1940s tanks of the new war, they're going to throw here, you think, what have you been doing for 70 years? This is all you got, and they're breaking down. And I mean, it's kind of, what have you been? There's been even in war, there's been no progress in technology.
It's weird.
Yeah.
disappeared.
So it does lead you to believe that there is progress, but that's hidden. And that's why
That
they
is
went so
hidden, and
quiet.
I would think that's the
Right.
case, especially with someone like Putin or, the people he collaborates with.
Or the United States. I don't
Or
put
definitely,
above the fray. Yeah.
without
Yeah.
saying,
Mhm.
I think that but I think we know a little bit more about some of these pretty advanced aircraft that the United States has in other countries too.
But
Yeah.
they still can't hover like that and then
No,
move like a shot,
no.
in different directions.
Yeah.
They still can, I don't believe they can do it.
Or disappear completely. Right. Yeah.
Right, right. What is the intergalactic humanity?
Well, that is that's a chapter in the N1 sessions. In
Right.
that, the discussion that goes on with that is that is us becoming open to being intergalactic citizens.
Oh, okay. So it's
That's
not
sort of
out
what we just,
there. Yeah.
yeah, that we're part of it, that we're part of
Right.
the whole community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's many things that are talked about there. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, why did you break it down to summer, autumn, winter, spring?
Well, this was me, doing these sessions by myself in my house, and the content, the and one of these other beings describe they're very in tune with that, the change of
Mhm.
season. So it just seemed like a natural thing to do, to break it down into seasons. And I also did the sessions. I did it because I wanted it to the time that I did the sessions, I wanted it to have a certain power. So I
Right.
did it on moon cycles and new moon, full moons, new moons, solstices, and equinoxes. So that
Mhm.
was already sort of in the rhythm of the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
did they give you any powers that you did not have before that were
The
actually
power,
given to
they
you?
gave me the power to let go
Mm.
and relax and be detached. At the
Yeah.
at the at right when the whole thing started, I was coming out of a rough relationship
Mhm.
situation, and they gave me the power to be content with myself and
How'd they do
to
that?
um I don't know, maybe
They
they were
made you
watching
feel
me.
like a little speck and you had no power at all.
Right, right. I think just connecting with this higher consciousness, there was just a feeling of elation after connecting with this energy, especially when it first,
Mhm.
I got used to it, I think, but especially when it first was confronted with it, I just, this realization that there's so much more out there, it
Right.
made my silly problems seem small.
So it is made you feel like a speck and
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What's radical simplicity?
That is one of my favorite chapters in the book, and it's kind of hard to describe. Um, it I'm going to let the reader go to that in itself, but that's what we, in essence, that's what we're going to need to move forward, to simplify our lives.
Mm.
It's not about gaining more stuff or accumulating more skills. It's just sort of more like peeling the layers back to the core
Right.
of our being. Yeah, that's
So
really
we're
what
we're
awakening is.
moving from one side of our brain to another.
Yes, yes, and that there's another quote in some of the material, because I also have some channelings online, and that says awakening is just stopping and remembering who you are.
Hmm. And getting
Yeah,
calm enough to
getting calm enough to do that.
do
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
so I'd say
Yeah.
that's what radical simplicity is.
Hmm. And is that the mighty jump?
A mighty jump is sort of us, what it's going to take to get to the place that we're talking about, where we can
Right.
interact with
Yeah.
ETs and galactic consciousness. Yeah.
Isn't it up to them at this really?
It is, but if we're not open and if we're not willing to play and collaborate,
Mhm.
they don't want that. I think they want us to engage.
Right.
Most of them want us to engage. and to be open to new things, and to realize that we have how powerful we are as a species, and to be open to these abilities that we don't really know that we have, like what you do.
What are they? You mean like the psychic, or the
Yes,
going
that's a
through
big
the
part of it.
dimensions to the
Interdimensional ability to
information?
travel through dimensions, to go back in time and remember past lives. Things, all of these sort of somatic, shamanic body-mind skills.
Right, to take away all the veils that we have.
To take away the veils, the many veils that we have.
Yeah. And if we do all that and do not end up in a psych ward.
Exactly. That's something I'm trying to avoid.
Yeah.
I do have my days that are still, I like, what am I doing?
But how does this fit into N1 though?
I think it totally fits into this, because there's also a chapter about Ethan Crumbley, who was the Oxford High School shooter, and just the source explains in that chapter in the N1 sessions about children, how teenagers, how when things like this happens to them, a lot of times there are dark souls that push them to do it. They're
but it's their own dark soul, in a way.
They wouldn't have that affinity if there wasn't something darker inside them. But there are also, on the other side, there are this army of dark souls that are possessing them and pushing them to
chaos,
especially with children. When children act out,
because they're so open. They're so open. Wow. Boy, and that's what I'm afraid of, is dark souls. But the other thing is, one talks about our power. And if you are here, you are a strong soul.
Absolutely.
You could not be here otherwise. You're an old soul, you're a strong soul. And
getting here to live out a lifetime is a victory in itself.
Exactly. It's like the PhD program.
Yes. We're getting PhD.
I know.
And all sorts of degrees here on planet Earth.
But sometimes I'm able to see somebody, and I know they didn't have a lifetime here, or they're coming from another dimension. They're coming into a human as another dimension.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of those souls coming through right now.
Good.
Some of them, in the book, they're referred to as light seeds. They're because they're star seeds who have had lives in other planets, and they come from other civilizations and things like that. The light seeds, they come from dimensions of light. They haven't had almost no physical incarnations. And I think that the phenomena of the crystal children, and I can speak to that and everything. But there's a lot of those on the planet right now, to my understanding.
Good thing. What was the apology?
That has to do with these beings, that they could have come back here sooner to help, but they didn't, and they regret it.
So do I. So do I. Why did they not? They were busy.
That's explained in the N1 sessions. It was a choice was made, I'm told, that that they didn't want to interfere, that they wanted to give us free will, and that there were other beings like the Pleiadians and the Syrians who were sort of taking the leadership in helping us or guiding us at the time.
Can individual beings come in, or are they usually like a collective or a group?
Individual beings can come in. And collectives. Sometimes come in collectives and individuals. Real brave.
Right. Or lost, one of the two. But when now let's say the Orions and the Pleiadians, they're all different, like civilizations, right?
Yes.
So how does that
different life civilizations?
Right. How do they compete? in wanting to establish on Earth, or is that kind of a?
I think the beings you're talking about, the Pleiadians and especially the Pleiadians and the Syrians.
Mhm.
From what I've observed and what I've studied, that they have collaborated with each other
Mhm.
a whole lot through history, and some of the projects, like us,
Yeah,
are
yeah.
something that they're sort of our parents.
Mhm.
That those races of beings are sort of our parents or teachers, and that the Orion light consciousness has been here somewhat, maybe not as much as those other two.
Right. So they're planning to come in more, or are they sitting back and waiting
That's
to
what
see
it
what
feels
we'll
like.
do? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, and I think that I think that would line up with there's been people like Barbara Marciniak or Barbara Hinclow who have been channeling them since the 1980s.
Mhm.
And that they want to take the Pleiadians have wanted to take a bigger hand in
Yeah.
leading us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And have they, or did the Orient come in and say, "No, we're going to do it"?
No, and
That's what I
that's
mean
like
about competition.
in the book, in the N1 sessions, so they explicitly say this: we are not trying to interfere with
Mhm.
any other group. We're just offering complementary information.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I've always thought that maybe people who are channeling the Palladians, or in your case, N1 Orient, um, that maybe have come from that dimension. You
I
have
think there's
a
a very good, yeah,
background, yeah,
yeah, yeah. I
a
think there's a very
shared
good
background,
possibility.
yeah, yeah,
That's why we're able to do it.
right.
Yeah.
But they've told you that we have to keep coming back here, or we can leave here and go to other dimensions, spend some lives over there.
We can, but for some reason, once you come here, you want to come back to help, to assist,
No,
to try
really,
to uplift
yeah.
things. You see the problems here, and souls tend to want to.
Is that the core problems?
Um,
You have a chapter, the core problem.
yeah, it's a little bit different. That's
Mm,
a little bit different, but it's related to that. Yeah.
right, right.
Yeah.
So your book, and this is what N1 wanted you to do, your book is to train people to communicate, to open up to them.
Yes, and also to open up to the intensified energy,
Hmm.
the intensified frequency that
Right,
is happening as we enter this new age
right,
of
right.
consciousness, to take advantage of it, to use it.
Now
Yeah.
when I look at the New Age, I see it going up through all the universes and all the dimensions. It's not only here.
Oh,
We're not
right.
the
Oh,
epicenter
when
even.
you
Yeah.
said that, I was covered in chills. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's
It's
right
like
on the money.
everything is lifting up a
And
couple
evolving.
steps. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And actually, that's what I thought the pandemic was when those two slammed together. It was like a dust storm, you know, and
Yeah,
and throughout all the universes, not just here, throughout the universes.
that
Yeah,
was really interesting. Yeah, I think
yeah,
there's something to
yeah.
that.
Now, I want to ask, and then we're kind of getting late, so I'll let you go.
This has been so fun.
Yeah, I want to ask you though. There are groups of people that, oh God, his name is, I'm missing his name right now, but they'll go out to the mountains here and they'll call in UFOs.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah,
Dr. Stephen Greer. Is that?
yeah, that's
Yeah,
who it
yeah.
is,
Is it
Stephen Greer.
CE5? Is that the protocol? Is
That's
that? I
it.
might be
That's it.
screwing that
What
up.
you've actually made physical contact. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah, yeah,
CE5, or you've been abducted, but there's physical contact. Yeah.
yeah.
So, why don't the Orions come in when they're invited? Say, okay, here we are, and literally go and intermingle with that group
Well, some of the Orions might do that. This group that I've been channeling, they are
to
they
refine
like
for that.
to they're very delicate being, and they like their autonomy. I have a
Hmm.
feeling. but they want to come here for certain projects like the Hidden
Right,
Particle.
right.
That's what I'm told, and that's what they explain in the N1 sessions.
They
But
don't want to get down in the mud with the rest of us, huh?
right, but there are other beings who it seems that are very willing to do that.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
they might be Orions, they might be Syrians, or they might
But
be
they
from
do
another.
flybys. They don't really
Yeah,
stop and do
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
They do
No,
flybys and a little hello, and that's it.
at least for right now. We'll see when they start to stop and mingle. I don't
Right.
know when that's going to happen though.
Hmm.
I should say, yeah.
And how can the people handle it if it does
Right.
happen? Yeah.
Right. What are we really going to do if they,
Yeah.
you're going on the mountain calling, summoning them sort of.
Right.
What are you really going to do if they land and get out and start?
That's why I don't do it.
Right.
Because I do believe in them, and I do believe, from what I've
Yeah.
heard, they do show
Yeah,
up.
I don't
And
want
I'm
to do
afraid
that
of that.
either.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
fine working with this consciousness in an energetic way.
Right.
I don't need to go on the mountain. And
Right. Stephen Hawkins said, why do you think that they are, they are safe?
Yeah.
Why do you think that they are gentle beings?
Right. Well,
Can you
and
not
some
be?
might be, and some might not be.
Right, right. And you don't know who you're calling. Yeah,
Right.
I know.
Right. These are all really important questions.
Mhm.
I think the people really do need to think about. Yeah.
Exactly. I think about them. It's like, oh, I'm not going. Yeah. Is there anything else that before we get off that you would like to add or tell everybody about?
Sure. I
Obviously,
just
where
want
to
to.
get your
I just
book
have
and
to.
all that, but
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
mean
just want
from
to
the
say
book.
that the book is the N1 sessions. The pre-order is now open. It will be released February 1st, 2026,
And
and
the
it's
pre-order is Amazon. You can pre-order it there
yeah,
and from any
yeah,
bookstores. Yeah.
yeah, and it's available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and many websites where books are
Mhm.
sold.
And a lot of times, a lot of metaphysical stores will have
Yeah,
our
and I'm
books.
trying to
Yeah.
reach out to more of those,
Right.
mom and pop metaphysical stores. To see if
Right.
there's
They're a lot of communities there. They're very
yeah,
nice community. Yeah.
yeah. We got
I
to
know.
hold on to those stores. Those are like the backbone of the
I know. Well,
metaphysical.
with Amazon, it's hard to do.
It's hard to do. Yeah,
I know. I know.
this is really true.
Right. But is there anything from the book that we haven't touched on you'd like to add?
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot. I think we've given it a good go. The only other thing about the book I want to say is that even if a person has not read much about consciousness, ETs, New Age,
Mhm.
and that this book is, I think it really lends itself to the general reader.
Right.
Even if you
To
don't
the
believe in,
neophyte kind of thing?
yeah, even if
Yeah.
you don't believe in channeling, or you don't, you're not sure, whatever, I wouldn't worry about that. That it's
Mhm.
just to look at the content to see what's there. And I think there's a lot of different types of people who would enjoy it.
Right. But how do they protect themselves and make sure they're bringing in a decent entity and not a dark soul?
How do people do that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like if they're like we talked about calling in the UFO,
right.
they might
Oh, I
come.
think you have to
But,
be very well. And you must work with this type of thing too.
I'm pretty protective. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you
Yeah.
have to ground.
Hmm.
I think you have to cleanse your aura.
Right.
And you have to call in your guidance, your spirit
Right.
guides, and know what that is. I think a little training doesn't hurt. And
But
I
in
had
your
some.
book, you're given exercises to do
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
But are there
Yep.
exercises to protect yourself as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That all yes, it starts very simple and moves slowly, and then the exercises get a little more complex. Definitely
Okay.
grounding.
Mhm.
Definitely only intention of only working with forces of light, clearing
Right.
your aura.
Right.
And and in the book, it's not so much about communication, it's about experiencing
Okay. And
different
how to
things,
open to
and
the
healing
experience. Yeah.
and sort of sorting out your life.
Right. Okay, good. Yeah, that's a good start.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, good. Well, thanks so much for being on. I've
Oh
really
my gosh,
enjoyed our
thanks so much, Barbara.
conversation.
I've
Yeah.
enjoyed this so much.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been enlightening. Yeah.
Yes.
And when you talk to him again, ask some of those questions. Why
I
they? And
certainly
yeah,
am
you got
going to.
another
Yeah.
book coming here. And
Yeah.
the other thing is, tell them to hurry up. We may not have a whole lot of time here.
Here, here.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Thanks a bunch. Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Bye bye.